some problems here and there, but we are going to be going live. The first match of UK Masters Spring 2017 CeX starting on the CT side. Imperial over on the terrorist side, and already is shaping up to be a pretty interesting one. This T side, whole lot of careful. They've got Boaster for the utility role. The CeX on the flip side, getting this one with the kit already. Some first shot coming out from Brody C, looking to snap onto a second. Can't quite find it, but eventually we'll get it. When Nansky with the Glock though, up close and personal. Takes a little while, but his T side are starting to drop down on towards CeX, bring it back to a 2 versus 2 situation. Windansky trying to find the headshot on towards JD, snaps onto him, tries to twiddle around on towards LS, so close but so far. Leading us in a 1 versus 1. LS, kit and play. Connor getting that bomb down.
No armor as well, right? He has the kit, so no armor. Has a smoke grenade, can use it to his advantage. Can potentially smoke to the right and then try run for Hut. The problem is that Connor now. Yeah, we'll smoke that side and expects the peek from Connor.
Flash going to go over that silo. Connor still finding himself tagged on through the smoke. Ellis looking to be ever so brutal in his approach here as he creeps on further and further down to the left. Connor, he has no idea what is coming, but eventually turns on through, lands the headshot, and Imperial will snipe out their first pistol round in this matchup. CeX going to look to respond though.
And that T-pistol is so vital as well. If you win the pistol on your T side, it means the money going into the first buy round for the CTs, if they do force into this round, will be far, far lower. Smokes, mollies, the things I'm talking about beforehand. Definitely going to be a lot harder to buy. Begs a question as well for the AWP. Astro, actually, not as much as a force I was expecting. These players know how important the utility is on a map like Nuke. And we're going to be seeing the AWP on Astro already. Brody C with that Deagle, as I was just talking about before, finds the first headshot.
Starting off nice and strong for the CTs, of course. That first frag really is useful, but unfortunately when you are in this predicament of kind of no Kevlar, just these Deagles and such, one frag really isn't the be-all end of life in terms of actually making the round winnable. And that's what we see there, of course. It is going to be the long-range Galil to tap away on towards Brody C. That makes him already none the wiser to the situation. And brings it back to the faithful 4 versus 4, where Imperial still have all the cards to play. And CeX really have to try and go aggressive, and unfortunately for that means Windansky gets the easiest frag of his life on towards Rezu, just walks right into his crosshair. JD lurking over towards Rafters, but Imperial's still in a very solid position. They're just taking it slow. They don't want to lose too many unneeded people, and I like this. I think this is simple, standard CS.
Yeah, but you can see their game plan as well. Instead of buying SMGs, you typically see UMPs being brought into the second round. They're buying Galils because they want to take the long-range duels. Flashes come through. That means that player towards Heaven has to fall back slightly. Can Windansky go towards A main and find an opening for his team? And try and make sure no more of these AKs and Galils do fall short. Jacob now peeking in. Ellis will find that one, but a fast trade there. As Boaster finds that kill. Windansky now with the UMP spraying down spams. Ellis through the vent. Making it 1 versus 2.
Astro going to tap on towards Boaster, doing some damage here and there in a 1 versus 2. It's not all impossible to try and have an impact, but with that bomb going down, you are starting to almost clutch at straws as he's just going to kind of spin all around the map, looks towards Rafters, snaps back towards Salo. Flash is going to pop, but doesn't really blind him as he is able to turn just to the left. But at the end of the day, it still comes back to the fateful point that him winning this would be, well, absolutely ridiculous, and I don't really see too much happening out. He's going to try so hard. In the end, Reason will mop him up. Jacob making sweet, sweet work with his utility in that round, throwing 4 nades, in fact. Is Imperial get themselves a smooth 2-0.
Yep, 2-0, and actually 3 players on the T side dying, so a few of those Galils and AKs will be taken out of the hands of the Ts. Typical Antico on your T side, go onto a silo and try and take aim duels with players that have Deagles, that have SMGs or CZs. Problem is that player, Brody C, tore the head off there, but as you mentioned there, Flakes, you can get that first kill, but without armor, it's very hard to secure the rest of the round. Windansky now holding the push, easy frags here, he sprays down 1, but does get traded, making it the 4 versus 4, and still a push towards Squeaky. And the CTs, they have a gun, can they make anything happen with it?
Certainly still just another ask, but that AK-47 having no Kevlar but hacked it certainly will play into the hands off this T-side. Ellis holding an angle on towards Boaster, and Boaster just going to give himself up, no idea what is coming his way, and that is crucial. Connor over towards Vents is going to be able to pick up the quick return trade, however, bring it back to a 3 versus 3. A rifle going to fall to the hands of Jacobs. Mac 10 as he sprays on through, makes himself some money, but Imperial already letting this one get way too close for comfort. About a minute on the clock. Reason going to cut that time down. He goes for that bomb plant, nothing there to deny that. LS just looking towards Seek to say, okay, is anyone going to come my way? Can I pick up an exit frag of sorts? So I have a feeling CeX have realized that contesting this really isn't any value in it. However, saving that rifle, JD to try and get the second, it's a whole lot more.
I mean, the fact they got 3 kills in the last round as well means that the money for the T side here isn't as strong as you'd expect it to be after winning the pistol and the round afterwards. Any extra frags these CT players can find here may be detrimental for the T side economy, but still. 3-0 going to the first buy round. An AK saved an LS as well, so it'll be interesting to see how Astro decides to play with his AWP. Okay, is he going to be one of those AWPers that's moving around the map? Is he towards outside? Is he going to be being ramp on round? Is he playing towards heaven? Should be good. So the buy comes in. 2 AK saved actually. Wow.
Yeah, JD was searching for it right towards the end, managed to just kind of cobble it together, and I think for CeX that really is great for them, right? It keeps them a little bit more money spare going to the next round, but also ensures that they get maximum utility.
Jacob now, the SMG saving onto this one, anticipating no header on the CT side, but unfortunately for him, CeX actually went through a double eco. They didn't force buy into the second round, which means they do have head armor. So the Galil on Connor and the SMG on Jacob won't actually be that one-shot headshot. Slow default now for the Ts. They're anticipating the money to be low on the T side, that's why they're waiting for the CTs to waste their utility, bleed out whatever flashes and smokes they have, then make the push happen afterwards. Astro now holding towards side of the timing, could have been so bad there. For a reason, disciplined, not overfacing.
Look at Connor, look how close he's been able to get right in towards hot there. Astro now falling back, but a smart ball read from him nets him not only one, but allows Brody C to double dip for a second for his team. Jacob dancing over towards Secret, but his impact here is really all but limitless. Has to try and push around that corner and claim the life of Brody C. And Nade trying to do the damage there, a flash, trying to blind them off. Jacob dips in even further and is able to catch out Rezu. Brody almost certainly going to be falling into the hands of Reason here, so a situation turned better for Imperial, but it still is very, very shaky. Because look at where that bomb is at. Look at the way CeX are approaching this round. They may have equalized things, but it still looks like they have their work cut out for them.
For Astro, there's a nice shot there from him. We'll find the head of Windansky, and now with that second shot there, but still, the damage he's done this round is more than enough. They know exactly where the bomb is, 30 seconds as well. If the bomb can be retrieved here by Reason, they can maybe go towards Secret, or Jacob as well, already pushed up towards Vent. This could still be around in favor of Imperial. Retaking this B bomb site is so difficult for the CTs. Have to come down Vent, very close quarters, and then actually retake them. There's so many angles where the T's can be hidden. Towards the double doors, towards decon, before, towards the new room there. So many different angles where the T's can hide and lurk.
Reason going to hit the bomb down over towards B. Needs to be careful towards ramp as JD is going to face it, but JD making a bit of a blunder. Jacob just another on towards Astro. How much more can Imperial ask for? How much more can they get away with? As LS going to be left in an impossible one now. This is looking so tough. Has to try and shoot towards that silo, pre-firing almost to try and see, okay, is anyone going to get baited in? But this is looking worse and worse. By the second, that bomb is going to continually tick on down. Tries to fake it on out. It's actually going to be sticking this one flat out the T side. They're not peeking. Eventually, will do. However, goes to the spray transfer. But Jacob, with the double peek, plays it smart. And Imperial net themselves around on the board, going for the fifth. This is shaping up to be a very solid start from this T side.
But you can see what I mean, right? Retaking that B bomb site, you've got the close quarters area towards Vent. If you hold that area, there's so many places where Jacob can be. He can be behind site, he can be by the double doors, or by decon. So when you're that player that rotates in from ramp, as JDD was, he has to peek towards 3 different angles, and there's so many chances now for the team to win that round. But still, money reset on the side of CeX, but they shall go for a quasi-buy. Yep, so even if they do lose this one, they will have money to the next one, and AWP as well will still be in the hands of Astro. Rezu will give up the first kill.
Certainly giving up that first kill, but it's just pistols. And again, I kind of want to bring it back to that whole storyline of when you get that first pick with a pistol, even if you do gain something, it's always so tough, should I say. But I think the at least kind of positivity here is they have that Kevlar, right, which makes it a little bit more believable if they can gain something off the back of that, as long as Imperial do position themselves correctly, though. A nice little trade, a slow and steady round, and this is still completely winnable on their front.
It's for sure. The fact they have armor as well, the timing now on the push from Astro. It's been so bad, but still. Has no armor, trying to face towards Connor. Only 2 more bullets from the AK would bring him down. Now holding towards the area towards Hut, and we'll find that kill. Windansky as well found JDD. LS now trying to equalize the numbers. The problem is it's already 2-man deficit.
Yeah, exactly, but that's kind of what I'm trying to hint at when I say slow and steady. All Imperial do there is just go and take these fights bit by bit, inch it out together as a team. And CeX, their response is, yeah, okay, yeah, you got a frag. What else have you got to show to it? Absolutely nothing. Now LS, 1 versus 4, bomb going to tick on away. Not a single player from this terror side are facing him. It's going to be a shot to be taken by Boaster. He's going to win that battle on the second attempt. So Imperial making sweet, sweet work of CeX in that round.
The rounds have been close. 2 versus 2s, 1 versus 2s, etc., etc. The problem is now it's been 5 rounds in a row. The money on the side of Imperial, you can see 5,000 on multiple players. This is where CeX really need to start kicking it into gear and try and find some rounds, because if they don't, Imperial's money will be so far ahead, rounds so far ahead, that for CeX to catch up, they have to have a tremendous T side. Still, they open Astro and 4 sets of rifles. Interesting to see how they play. Already see helping out outside as well. That might be a read if they've seen Imperial play Nuke before. And anticipate smokes towards outside. And it's actually bad smokes. There's a massive gap there, so if any players go towards Secret, there'll be able to spot them. And that means that more players can stay towards A.
Looking good for CeX in this round, at least a Molotov. It is going to force Ellis to be a little bit further back, but straight through a flash, snipes on towards Poster, looking for a second. The T-side are not checking any of their angles at all. This is disastrous. Imperial getting mowed on down as they try and push out on towards A. The smoke outside playing no part in it at all. But a blunder towards inside. They have all the Molotovs, they have all the flashes, but they still just don't check their angles. Why bother throwing anything at all if you're not going to check? Jacob now trying to claw something back in this round, tooth and nail, right to the very end as they both will combine. They will both find themselves headshots, bring it back to a 2 versus 2. The CT side all but stuffed towards heaven. It needs to be played absolutely perfect here from Astro. Has that AWP, but a first shot is going to be everything.
There's a smoke on JDD though, and I know exactly where the bomb is. Reason here, the smart call going to go behind Astro now, try and see if he can worm his way up that ladder and catch those players off guard. But still, 30 seconds left. It's going to be fast and be decisive. Kit on JDD, so if the bomb does go down, they can still play the retake.
Yeah, retake. He's going to play a part in it. Reason going to walk right into the crosshair of JD. However, Astro going to hold on towards ladder. And why would you push that? That's simple for Astro to find. Just no scopes it, treating it like a shotgun. Jacob now trying to creep towards that bomb, but this is almost textbook position for Astro now. He makes a bit of a blunder of an aid, but we are going to miss it either way as Jacob gets the shoulder peek. And we'll be able to find the frag, and a very interesting round from Imperial, has to be said. It doesn't feel like they should have been able to find that at all.
I believe there was the 2 entries there for CeX. The thing is, Rezu, the Molotov came down towards, I think it was where JDD was playing, towards Mustang. Problem is, on top of Hut was not mollied, and Rezu jumped off, did not get a single kill, so there's no trade frag there for him on the CT side. And I believe if he had stayed on top of Hut, found 1 or 2 kills, we could be seeing a very different round. Still, though, 6-0 in the favor of Imperial. It's going to be another quasi-buy here for CeX. SMGs on one player, Astro there with the P250, wants to AWP into the next round, and he's also been playing quite a big factor in the fact that these rounds are close.
There's a lot of picks being coming from them, and I think that really is going to be a pertinent point, especially for these players like Astro who have the pressure on their shoulders to perform. But in this situation, it is Boaster just getting another free peek towards outside. Astro trying to bring the pistol to Jacob, though, snaps on towards his head and makes sweet mincemeat of him. Great little frag for him there, but isn't able to pick up the rifle, so certainly dwarfs somewhat as Ellis going to free peek towards outside. Boaster completely blind. Can't respond to that in any way, shape or form, and the downside even further from that is Connor. His position there was to play for a trade, but of the smart read from CeX to back off straight off the bat and not go for that gun, no trade can be found.
Exactly. Low HP there on Astro. Did get that nice flick headshot. Plays on a very high sensor. I think it's like 2.5, 2.4. It definitely shows. Still, they push towards Secret. They're going to try and worm themselves into the B-bomb site, but Astro holding now the P250 in vent. This is where you want the P250. Close range, within 10 yards. 10 off, I think it's 8 yards, whatever. It's a one-shot headshot. Can he land it?
Still, just an ask to be found. Connor walking around these steps. Astro, he's right behind 2 players. It's all going to be on timing because they're checking every now and then, but not just having that dedicated player to hold that angle. It needs to be perfect. Rezu peeks to the right, nets himself. Sweet, sweet frag on towards Windansky. JD trying to do some work through the smoke. Reason going to completely face into him. No idea why he thought there was value in that, especially when he has the bomb. That means Astro can go full Spider-Man and he dives on towards Connor. Man from above on CeX. They pick the Suns their first round up on the board, but for CeX, it still feels like they're playing a couple of good rounds here and there, but there's some interesting mistakes coming from Imperial that kind of make it possible all the time.
Overfacing, basically. Still though, 1-6, CeX now finally get a round on the board. The problem is if they get reset here, that's when things get very, very dire for them. Money is still fairly strong, so I think even if they lose this, they could have a pretty good force fight into the next one. But even then, if they lose that, we could be seeing 1-9 or 1-10. And at that point, Imperial, they've done more than enough on their T side. Still though, no AWP on the CT side here for CeX. Astro now working with the AK. Versatile player, we saw the pistol's got nice headshot aim. I'm sure the AK will be landing some nice headshots. But still, Jacob and Co working towards outside. Do they anticipate no AWP on Astro?
Boaster has been able to get an entry pick every single round practically so far. Reason going to be the man for above the aid. As Boaster is just a distraction in this one. Connor going to do the work on towards Brody C, and CeX are just giving it to them. Not in the literal sense. Nonetheless, coming in towards Catwalk, now back towards Heaven, clearly swapping around where he wants to position himself. And you know what? If I was in his shoes right now, I would be feeling that sort of confusion, that sort of, okay, where do I play? There's every single corner of the map for Imperial. They are finding picks. Windansky waits, and JD just waltzes into his arms, just saying, here, take me. There's LS and Rezu now left in a 2 versus 5, and how on earth can they bring this one back? 40 seconds on the clock. There really is dwindling time, dwindling hope for these 2 boys, and, well, they're already playing towards the idea of, you know what, let's just save these rifles. They know that reset is really going to crush them. It gutters their economy. Connor
actually
LS, he
wins
should
that.
have won that fight in every single reality, but still isn't going to close this one out. Rezo at least should be able to find this frag, and that's always going to be a bit of a plus. But you know, if you're looking at one pick in total for the CT side, that feels like you're very much so scraping the bottom of the barrel for anything positive at all.
It is though, but some players on the CT side do have money. Astro 4.2k, LS on 2.5k as well. So if Rezo can save this, we could be seeing 3 rifles. Can he get the nice headshot, get onto Reason and try and keep this one alive? Jacob's still facing. Rezo gets another one, 3k for him, but look how low he is. One shot there. We'll do it. Look like a headshot, but still. One shot for the body, we'll do it. 1-7, and now they are reset. Do they go for the force spike? Could be seeing an AWP on Astro. The way they played their rifle setup outside was so weird as well. Typically, when you're rifling towards outside, if you've got Cajun B and Config, for example, they'll smoke outside and they'll both play close to the smokes. The reason being is you want the close range duels. You can see Boaster, Jacob, they're going outside and they're taking long aimed duels and they're winning them with the AKs. One shot to the head will do it. They should be playing together, or they should just be choosing one part of the outside to hold and just give up the other half.
I feel like going for a force up here, there would have been too much for CeX to get away with. However, with these pistols, they seem to be playing better, and this was a phenomenon we actually saw them have at Epic Land, where they actually picked up more rounds with Tech 9s and such on Overpass than they could with the entirety of their rifles.
Highly skilled players, that's the thing. In these full buy runs, you know, maybe they're not playing perfect team Counter-Strike, but when it is Brody stealing the Deagle, Astro, as I say his name, he delivers. Brody see the Deagle and all these guns where it's about headshots only, and the T's as well, they play different, right? When you know you're versus AWPers and all that, you play very different, and Windansky's wormed himself into heaven.
JD, however, straight through the smoke. Boaster will be able to claim his life. Windinsky still tapping. Clearly the man to dink him away. Boaster, with that SMG, brings it back to a 2 vs 2. Of course, is going to look to push further now. Try and wrap on towards Astro, who is playing over towards Vents, but this is going to be a bit of an interesting one, because bear in mind, Windansky is so low, just 4 HP. That's a really small amount, something that even a P250 will mow up, but Windansky still winning the duels. Astro not even going to fire off a single shot there. That one now near a bomb plant for this T side, and it's getting weaker and weaker by the second. CeX, a round it looked like they actually had a very serious chance at being able to compete for, is the round that now they bank on Rezu, a man to find a 3k in the last. Impact exit frags. A double kill in this one, has no Kevlar to back that rifle, but a rifle nonetheless. Another flash is going to go off Rezu, trying to force the issue now, trying to bait Roaster into this peak. Walk step by step, but that is one hell of a duel to take. Boaster is going to give it up, but he has no kit. And that's the other real moot point now. This is the easiest frag for Windansky to find. Come on, Windansky, don't let me down here. This should be simple.
God.
Windansky, what are you doing? Come on, you should be able to find this easily.
No way!
Windansky, how are you letting that happen? That is embarrassing. That is terrible. Come up with a word that's derogatory, because that is exactly what should be thrown his way right now. That is disastrous. CeX gifted a round that should never have been winnable in that predicament. There are 1 vs 1 with a 10-second defuse, bear in mind. There was no kit.
So typically when you haven't got kit, you should smoke off choke points, right? Because you can't go for a smoke diffuse unless you're versus Windansky, apparently. Anyway, JDD now playing towards ramp. Astro and Brody C playing proper now. You can see how close they are, the rifles.
Astro really helping out there with the second tag as well. The collateral shot almost. Astro doing so much in this round for the CT side. Brody still the supporting figure, but they found all these picks so quickly that a comeback here from Windansky, well, too much to ask. Unfortunately as well, you know, I would have maybe a little bit more faith in a few picks, but after that last round performance, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it happens though. Like, he's planted in an area that's quite open. I mean, you can look on the radar and see, but even then it is quite difficult. And I think he was actually spraying. So his crosshair was where Rezu was, but the fact he was spraying meant the bullets went up and above him. So, unfortunate there for Windansky.
It's one of those things where I feel like we can kind of sit here and be a little bit kind of shaken up about it, but at the end of the day, everyone involved should just let it go. Everyone should just kind of leave it. It's a 10th round now. Let's move on into the future and see if he can step up, because he's still been having a huge impact in this game. So it's just one small blunder outweighed by a huge sea of positives. As he is going to tap on towards Brody C there, so brings it to a 1 vs 3, but 35 seconds on the clock. Does have to get a jiggy on if he wants to compete for this round, but a couple of exit frags still.
And the money's low. The money is low on the CT side, so any guns he does take out the hands of these CT players will dent their economy further. He's just trying to bait a player in to push and try and take down Windansky. He wants to take the head of that player, take the gun out of their hands. But still, Windansky now pushing towards Secret. Just going to save this one. Still looking for a kill. Just has to hope and pray he doesn't die after time. But it's looking like he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he should be pretty good after this one. Just going to be clearing out these angles, though. Still searching to see, okay, can I get myself a cheeky headshot here and there just before that time will tick on through. And You'll get thrown straight back into the fray. That is going to be this 11th round, of course, for CeX. Now we get to see just another bit of impact with the AWP still. Rifles all a plentiful side coming up for CeX. Imperial, though, their economy is very, very shaky, and that's why that save is so important from Danske. It gives them one rifle to play with. Get a pretty odd job batch of P250s.
It does indeed. CeX now, they need to have 4+ players stay alive to try and build up their economy this time, just to avoid another reset for them in this first half, because on their CT side nuke, they're going to have to pull 6 or 7 rounds here if they want a real chance, a fighting chance of taking down Imperial. Let's do that, making it known that he doesn't want to play scared.
Astro very aggressive with an AWP, but he's going to get one gifted to him. That whittles down the Imperial side just bit by bit. CeX really starting to wake up on their CT side and looking a lot better, I think it has to be said, as a nade is going to get thrown out. That should scrape a little bit further into the side of Imperials. Now CeX, they have one job: get under the skin of your opposition, play for the long haul, because these next couple of rounds towards the end of this half are going to be crucial for CeX to decide, okay, did they step up towards the end and find themselves a few, or did they actually make it a workable scoreline?
Exactly. I think if they get 6 here, they could be doing a lot better. The thing is as well, they did lose the pistol and the subsequent rounds following, so in terms of buy rounds, it is only 3-4. So quite equal in terms of the exchanges there. Problem is, they're losing that pistol on your CT side. I mentioned it's so pivotal to win, and JDD with one spray gets the second as well. Getting at the pistol headshot, he does. Nice streak there, making it 4-7, and a 5-player stay alive for the side of CeX. Money starting to build, no one has to reinvest here. Can they make it 5-7? Now the buy will come in for Imperial though. AKs and no AWP. Will that impact the way they play? We could be seeing a late contact towards ramp. Potentially smokes outside. They don't want to face towards the AWP of Astro. Smoke outside. Try get down secret. Try go for a B play.
That B play certainly could be an interesting one to witness, but for now it's a lot of outside for Imperial. Still trying to go with all these smokes. Hopefully they get done right this time. I think that does leave a bit of a window of opportunity if you don't cover off that walling that a lot of teams go for to get themselves into secret. Boaster is going to pop out a flash, and that's going to try and see, okay, is Astro going to peek on through? And I like Astro's angle. He's changed it up. Very adaptive, and that's a smart way to try and really catch off Imperial now as they are moving forward. But the concern here for Astro, it's all well and good to move position, but a close shot is going to be much tougher, but he still lands the flick. Connor is going to fall. Imperial running racehorses looking to chase him down, but a reflex Molotov completely wipes out that path, stops anyone from getting close, and allows Brody C to get into this position. This is great from him. Information to be garnered. The duel is going to be lost, but it still is very impactful for CeX now, because it gives them everything to know that, okay, they didn't actually go secret, they didn't commit.
They have information though, that's the thing. They don't have to keep pushing. They don't have to always be outside. Jacob now holding for the push of Rezu. CeX down the 4-4. Rezu wanted to find information and see if Imperial went back towards A. Jacob now could potentially fake a play. A B play even.
Clock is going to continue to wind. Astro still holding angles, still looking for picks, but this time he will miss. Jacob now ever so close, and this is going to be an easy one for him to find off the back of that missed shot. Needs to check that angle well, as that is the one that CeX have played so commonly now. And they are going to get punished off the back of that. Jacob finding himself just another reason. Going to be holding up on towards the tip of heaven. JD just dancing in hell right on below, but unfortunately there is no one to pull him on through. He's just going to have to back off, see if he can take the jewel from that door, and Reason is just going to give it to him. Very dodgy peek there. I'm not quite sure what Reason aimed to take from that at the end of the day. As JD is going to find one for his troubles, but not really getting too happy about this one for CeX, because scoreline, it's still hugely swaying into Imperial on the T side.
Yep, money as well. The money for Imperial is very, very low. CeX right now, they need to try and take a few guns out of the hands of the Ts if possible. But still. 8-4. Imperial have won the half officially. The most rounds CeX can get down their CT side is 7. And that's after losing the pistol. So it's still the end of the world. They need to get their T pistol. They need to bounce back and get that second pistol in the second half. Try and revive this nuke map. So, buyers coming in. There will be an AWP on Astro. That says the money to drop that. Even Astro has the money himself. AWP or Astro now been so pivotal. The AWP moving around the map, playing towards outside, playing towards a ramp now as well. And also secret steps. Trying to find his team the opening pick and try and play off that. The problem is, even if he gets the opening pick, it's the mid-round where CeX are having troubles.
Yeah, this middle round part is really where Spawn gets stuck into them. A flash is going to go straight on through that door, trying to buy an entry opportunity for this T-side. Meanwhile, a great little hold from Boaster there. That could have netted something, but CeX, their aggression, they decided, you know what? perhaps this is a bit of an odd one for us. Perhaps this is not quite the best way to approach this. Instead of saying, okay, let's withdraw our forces. Let's get ourselves back into a standard CT side default without all the funky business of trying to push up outside, trying to overextend our boundaries. There's Reason going to walk right into Brody. Brody just AFKing, staring at an angle, have no idea what to expect there as Astro. Going to reposition back towards outside.
He will indeed. One man down already for CeX and potentially two. Connor now flick, headshot there, making it a two-man lead. 8-4, this could easily be 9-4 and even worse if they reach the money. And Connor again, one nice headshot down to Rezu, the second one for him. JDD and Astro trying to save what's left of this round. The problem is they're in a 2 versus 5.
Yeah, 2 versus 5. Again, it's another situation for CeX where you're just like, yeah.
For me, it's the mid round, right? So at the start of the round, they get entries, right? Astro's pushing places. Brody C and his teammates, they're playing outside with the rifles. They're playing close. They're getting kills. Or Rezu's pushing hard. He's finding the entry. It's a one-man lead for the CTs. As soon as it hits that middle of the round, that 1 minute mark, you can see the inexperience show, and Astro now doesn't save the orb with those 2 shots there. But still, you can see the inexperience there from these players, right? They're young, up-and-coming talents. Brody C, Astro, etc., right? In the middle of the round, you can see the T's just hold, and the CTs just panic, right? They're like, oh, where are the T's? Where are the T's? Are they D? Are they A? Are they here? Are they in silo? Are they towards silo? Are they outside? Are they towards B steps? And they're panicking, they're pushing. Brody C shouldn't be in the middle of outside with 40 seconds left on the clock, right? He needs to be somewhere else towards ramp, he needs to be towards heaven, he needs to be playing towards the sites and not giving entries like that.
I think, you know, what it really comes down to, the real kind of blunt way to describe it, is instead of dressing it up by CeX and kind of the middle round portion, just say, you know what, just take a chill pill. Stop trying to think into everything. Stop trying to look at every single shot and go, okay, let's analyze into that. Instead, just relax. Try and hold your sights, try and play together and focus on playing your game. At least in this round, their game is them getting completely wrecked. Pistols, SMGs, not really being able to get anything done at all, no ground to be guarded. It's not like they're even getting information from this. They're not kind of looking into the Imperial side and saying, oh yeah, they're playing like this, so this is what we can do going into a buy. Instead, they're just getting flat out wrecked.
They are indeed. Money is so strong in the Imperial side, but who cares? It's the last round. If they want an AWP, they can drop one. I think the fact they don't want the AWP is what's played to their strengths, right? In the middle of the round, they're literally just holding angles, and Rezu, Brody C, JDD has to push ramp sometimes as well. They're pushing into their crosshairs, finding easy frags. If they play passive at the start of the round and allow it to get to that 1 minute mark, as long as they've got position of the map towards outside, Rezu going for the hut push again. Can he catch him down skiff guard?
Manansky, 2 angles to hold, 2 very different ways that he can approach this fight. Meanwhile, Brody C going to be dealing with that door. Manansky, no one coming his direction just yet. Rezu, though, clearly toying with the idea of going on forward. Nothing is going to net himself low with that UMP. It's a nice little close-range weapon, I'll give it that, but in this situation, you have to be a little bit more cautious. Connor and co are getting themselves full control of Secret as they try and push their bounds. The immediate response there is more than likely going to be coming from Brody C himself. JD over towards ramp, of course, is going to go for that quick-witted rotate down under. But this is going to be tough to hold off. But JD committing to this rotate and not just faffing around the place in these halls is much, much better for CeX. But now he has to find this frag on towards Connor. He's going to open the doorway and walks right into him. Doesn't get a shot off. Connor is going to mutilate him with that AK-47. Brody C, the man to try and bring back some hope for CeX as he holds on towards that position, trying to deny anything from these T's, but Connor is just running riot back here. Rezu is going to find one, but it's just like dragging a rusty nail on the floor. Poster, Rezu, they will all combine, but it's still this T side with an advantage. Rezu going to try and claw things back. It's Rezu doing all of the work in this round. A triple kill for him. Where's his teammates? Where are they playing right now as Rezu is getting himself a 4th kill, looking for the ace at this point. Reason could be slow in his approach. Rezu not quite going to stick that defuse straight off the bat. Gives time for Reason to get himself onto this one. A flash is going to go off. Reason trying to throw out the Molotov. The defuse is well and truly being stuck, and Reason isn't going to get close to finding that defuse. No idea what is going on. Rezu doing literally everything in that round.
You mentioned his individual skill and individual players stepped up, and it definitely did that round. The retake there towards, comes down vent, pushes through, finds 4 of the T players there in that 5 versus 3 or 5 versus 2, I believe. That round was heavily favoured to Imperial. And that 11-4, 11-5 could be a big difference. Or that 10-5, 11-4 could be a big difference later on into the game. Let's see who wins pistol. CeX lost their CT pistol. Can they win their T pistol now? Make it 1-1 in terms of pistols. If you win both your pistols, you do heavily favour yourself in a best of 1. But still, 4 sets of armour, smoke, defuse kit on Jacob, just in case things go south. And then the Molotov and smoke from Rezu. This could be a B play here. They could go fast down ramp. This could be a squeaky push, down vent, and then a push towards ramp later on.
The thing about a pistol round is it's so chaotic, it's so aggressive, it's no kind of reliance on team playing utility. You have such little amounts that really all comes down to this Angel's ability to tap those heads, find those frags, as this D-side plunder down through vent now, looking to find themselves that loot over towards this B-side. Connor finally realizing what has gone on, realizing it's all but a ruse. Astro, though, holding the angle from behind, and this is great from him because he gets all of this lurking impact, finds not only one frag, but delays a second player from rotating, allowing Brody to push up further on towards ramp, tap away with this what Windansky is going to find all but one. Brody getting away with so much over towards this position. Great work now as Windansky is going to find himself at least one trade in the process. Another one tap on towards JD, though. We need to be looking at this man right now because he's doing so much for the CTs. Windansky still dancing around. Reason securing the frag on towards Brody C, but Snods, that bomb is ticking. The CT side, they know they have to get a move on now. Windansky trying to fake him off, trying to get us to beat this one, but he is playing this one to a T. That time is going to continually go. Nothing is stopping at the diffuser. We stopped a great little shot from LS. Securing the round for the Ts, no matter the end, no matter the fact that they will all blow up. It's still a pistol round for CeX.
Do Imperial force this one? They're 10 rounds to 6. They're 4 rounds in the lead. Do they go for the risky force buy? Connor, they're buying the 5.7 head hammer. Might be indicating just that. But still, if you're 4 rounds in the lead and you're winning commandingly, do you want to go for that force buy and risk it? Or would you just want the utility, extra firepower and whatnot into the first buy round and have a high chance of winning that one, especially in the CT side where you need the utility, you need the AWP. But still, it will actually be the force buy cut from Imperial and 1.1k saved on Jacob. He will be the AWPer for this map. As yesterday it was Windansky for a few rounds and Connor as well.
I feel like for Imperial, when talking about the kind of force-up mentality, it's something that Jacob really kind of always does. He's a big guy when it comes down to just going for these second round force-ups. Does it T-side as well, but CT side in particular is really where you always kind of see the same style from him when he leads teams in these second rounds. It's always, okay, get yourself positioned with the aggression. You see him over towards red here, just kind of waiting around that angle. Going, okay, if they push me here, I have a high chance of getting one pick. It's a struggle to get a second, but starting off strong is all well and good. Unfortunately for him, a UMP just rattles away, and that will shut him down for a quick double kill from the side of CeX. Connor lurking on some elevated angles. Windansky up towards heaven yet again, but not quite a name that we can scream and shout about. As it is just CeX with a bit of a commanding lead in this one. Astro going to find himself one, though. Boaster actually picking up another, starts to make this one seem just that little bit more possible. But we're already seeing the backlines. I have a feeling this one might be all but done. Windansky feeling like he has to hurt his teammate, or help, should we say. And he is, in fairness to him, but a 1 versus 2 with a bomb ticking like that. Does have Kevlar, but no kit. Gotta go fast.
It's unlikely here. Astra holding the angle as well. Windansky needs to get 2 1 versus 1s, and already Astra peeking out. They know exactly where he is. You can see Rezu there, thumpering into a main, and actually goes for a peek, doesn't commit, and falls back. 7-10. And you talk about the force buys of Jacob, the force buys of Jacob, right? And you got to think, if you're Jacob, who has he played with? Okay, old Kaz, old Kaz, back in end of 2015, early 2016. You had Death, Surreal, those sorts of level of players, right? That's why you go for the force buys when you're playing with that caliber of players, right? And even here, you've got Windansky playing very, very well. You've got Connor, sick aim, Bose is very, very good, Reason as well. And Windansky's been playing so well this map. You got to think about who he's been playing with, right? You go back to trying to think of other teams that don't go for the force buys usually. Then again, CeX didn't go for a full force on their CT side, and they've got players like Brody C of the Deagle, so who knows? Anyway, full eco now on the CT side. We're going to be looking at 10-8, unless a miracle happens here, Flex.
Yeah, I think again that's kind of just asking a whole lot. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there is going to be any guys doing some lay on hands right now. Some magic, as it is going to be this T side. Losing one in the process, but for the most part, finding picks all across the board as Boaster. Got to search around, see if, okay, can I whip out a cheeky USB headshot here and there, and unfortunately his dreams aren't coming true either. CeX start to wake on up.
24-9, he's got 3 KD right now. 2 rounds behind for some Imperial. Rezu leading the charge as well with Astra. Astra's AWP's been so important for them on the CT side. Can he bring that level of form into the first buy round here? 2 rounds separating them. If CeX win this, they will reset the money of Imperial, and then they'll finally be in the commanding lead. After Imperial having, what, 8-1, 7-1 lead on their T side. All comes down to this.
CeX grouping up ever so heavily on towards Solo. A very interesting duel being taken there. Reason just trying to tag her way through, but doesn't land anything.
Need to find one there. Unfortunately for him, he will be killed and no trade. But Connor and Boaster playing very, very close here. Do CeX, if they go onto the rafters, go on silo and push outside, which is looking like LS will. The thing is, though, will they catch the pushes or will they catch them with their names out?
Oh, this is brutal. Brody C, though, is going to secure all of the trades, aided by JD as he picks up so many frags towards outside. Astro going to miss a flick shot as JKM flies down from above. Seems to be his old fateful strategy at this point as he drops on down to many in opposition. But hey-ho, back to the present. The 19th round, 55 seconds is about where the clock is going to strike. A crucial round for CeX to pull off. He really highlighted just how important it is in terms of the economics, in terms of bringing it back, and what a way to go about it. Constant trades, both of these teams trading punches. Brody C gonna stab his teammate, brings it to a 1 versus 1. Brody C, not quite the play you were looking for, my friend. 35 seconds. The bomb is gonna go on down with Dansky, a player who, yes, he's had his mishaps, but for the most part has been absolutely unstoppable. Now he needs a 1v1, but I think Brody C has got the read. Goes for the flick.
That's fast.
You said it was a flicker. Well, that right there was lightning speed. CeX will get themselves their 9th round, but not without, you know, some interesting ones.
Rezu in chat, if he loses this, I'm going to cry.
Fair play to him too, to be honest.
Anyway, Brody C wins that 1 versus 1, which should have been a 1 versus 2, and that's a gun out of the hands of the T side, but they have won 4 rounds consecutively, so their money isn't isn't that bad. They can suffice one player dying. Boost coming out here from Reason. Still, full eco now for Imperial. I mentioned if CeX won this round, the money will be reset for Imperial, and that means CeX are going to be at 10-10. And Imperial are going to have a buy into the next one, so it will come down to 10-10. Will it come down to the strong T sides or the weaker CT sides?
I feel like CeX, if they can kind of build up momentum and start to chain things together, that's when they fire on full cylinders. But the one concern I've always had with CeX when looking at the way they play, looking at the way they play at LAN, is when they're fighting players who are going for these 1-for-1 rounds, you see kind of Imperial going, okay, we're going to pick up one here, you're going to pick up the next one. CeX, they don't really kind of get the cogs flowing. Their strategy starts to fall apart. Boaster in this one, a couple of 1-digs here and there, and actually making this one seem like it could be doable. But they have a long way to go. If they are going to make that one happen, they have a man advantage. That's always going to be something, but these rifles still empower them in every way and shape of the sense.
The timing. Astro wins that one. Rezu now as well, pushing out Vent. Might find the last player here. It's going to be Jacob alone in the 1 versus 1. Somehow Jacob got behind Astro, and he's actually sprayed him down in Vent! Time.
He has no time. That's something. But, yeah, CeX.
Money, I mean, 5 players have to reinvest here. They do win the round 10-10 now as the scoreline.
They could afford it, at least. The money is much more about not the instant round, but kind of the longevity of their T-side, which when it's 10-10, and I just made the whole point about them struggling to go for these 1-for-1 rounds, while they rely on chaining them together. That's why it's important.
Then again, they're on the T side, so when you go 1-for-1s, it's going to dent the economy of the CTs far harsher. But still, 10-10 is the scoreline. CeX were behind so heavily. 7-1, 8-2 down, and finally here they are, matching the scorelines. Will the pressure get to them? Will they let this one slip? Imperial on the CT side should be favoured. From what we know about the map, well, actually, as the map has been further and further played, it's looking more and more T-sided as players and teams play slower in the mid-round, and it's so hard for the CTs to play without any information.
Connor, though, starting off strong, just deletes Brody C from the map. That's a huge player for CeX to lose because that really just dips into their entry fragging prowess. Now is Connor going to go even further on towards Astro here. If he falls back and just within the nick of time will save himself from getting headshot. But as he moves over towards ramp, he's got another player to contend with, Boaster, who's also been hitting shots for this CT side. So a concerning situation for Astro nonetheless. It's going to be a real testing situation for him now as he walks right into his crosshair. Boaster will win that frag. JD is going to find the trade, however, over on towards the safe side, looking to dip straight in towards Ben, drops down on towards the head of Reason. How many frags have we seen from there? Connor playing LS's position ever so faithfully and getting away with it completely unscathed. LS is finally going to respond though, looks towards heaven to try and claim the life of Jacob, but it isn't quite going to pay any dividend just yet. JD in towards the back lines, looking for Boaster, and he will find out a great little read from him there, and a great little adaptation. Jacob, the long-range P250 on towards his opposition's head. That's a great little frag from him as well. As it picks us back to a 10 versus 10 situation for the rounds, a crucial one in terms of directing the flow of this half. Jacob has that AWP, JD has the rifle. The bomb is going to be on that site, but there's so little time. 15 seconds. JD knows just to get him over and should be able to get himself a plant here though, considering the position that Jacob is playing.
He might anticipate him to be towards a main. I highly doubt JDD expects Jacob to be right behind him. Still though, Jacob playing slow, expects JD to go towards Heart, which he is, but can he time Jacob here?
This can actually work out for him. This is ridiculous. Jacob.
Oh no.
walking step by step, playing this one very, very smart, but JD might just have the time on him, but no, he looks to the left instead of the right, just a second to spare. But Jacob will win the round, he will clutch it out. And that is huge for Imperial. I really can't state that enough. I know I've used the phrase, that was great, so many times now, and I'm killing myself every time I say it. But that really is great for the Imperial side.
It's great, but how have they won that round, okay?
Oh, Jacob for a start.
Yeah, but JDD, out of nowhere, finds 2 kills, 1 kill on A, jumps down vent, mid-air, headshots the player underneath him in vent, and then gets the kill on Boaster rotating in from ramp. Somehow makes it 1 versus 2, but Jacob's aim there, the P250 is too strong for the players of CEX, and on this CXT side, I want to see some more team play, right? You saw Astro pushing towards ramp alone. He needs to have a player behind him to trade. If he had went there, died, and got traded, we could have been seeing a very more, I don't want to say competitive round because it was very close, but more of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Higher chance of CeX winning the round, there you go. If we saw trades coming up, because it puts a lot more pressure on the CT side. If they know that there's players towards ramp, then Jacob might not be playing towards heaven, he could be playing towards under heaven, and that's where the bomb would have gone down.
Jacob, though, the man of the hour in this one, is playing towards outside with that AWP. You talked about him taking on that mantle. Meanwhile, Reason over towards Secret. Gonna have his work cut out for him. 3 players charging him down, drops down a Molotov in response. Nice little proactive play for him, but he's also reactive in terms of the frags that he's able to find. They're just walking right into him. They're trying to cross. That's their objective right now. Just charge him forward, ignore him, treat him as a thorn, a scab that you can't quite pick away. As Boaster, rifle, looking to walk through this window. Meanwhile, JD still over towards ramp. If he can get himself in the backlines, he's so impactful, and he's going to do just that. Boaster will fall. Connor over towards vents. Now, it's even more of a difficult situation, but Astro, the timing, oh! Gets away with it, but the skin of his teeth. Still workable from the CTs, I think that's the biggest point. Every little frag they get, every little move they make, nets them just a little bit more of an advantage now. 4 versus 2, it's getting worse and worse as the second goes on by Reason. A frag on towards Dennis, JD, caught over towards ramp. Jacob, how much he's going to do with the P250? Why buy a rifle when you can just be Jacob, apparently?
Exactly. Still, 12-10 now. The money for CX is still strong. Actually, I'll say that. But I thought the round was going to give them the round bonus. It's not strong at all. 3,000 on those players. Means they might go for a quasi-buy here. Just a Tech 9 nade. Smoke flush, who knows. But no armor, potentially. This means this could be a round for Imperial to build up their bank, right? Have their players stay 5 alive, make their money, build up stronger and stronger and stronger, make it harder for CX to reset them, and make it harder for CX to come with a comeback.
JD holding with the Eagle, looking for a beautiful little 1D, but it isn't going to land. You spray all through that metal sheeting all you want, but all you're doing is creating some holes. Isn't really going to be too useful at all. Meanwhile, Connor is just going to stare dead set towards that window, really looking to make sure that if anyone even comes remotely close, it is going to be a little one tap for him. So he can add to his pockets. Connor is just going to hold on tight on his T side. Really starting to run out of room in terms of where they want to head. And they're just getting placed in a box by Imperial here. CX falling short on a couple of these rounds, really netting the advantage for Imperial now. It's going to be 13-10 up, and we're getting closer and closer to the end.
5 alive. Money is strong now for this side of Imperial. 5,000, 6,000 on multiple players. Nearly 8k there for a reason. So CX need to win 2 rounds in a row if they want to reset the money for Imperial. That means 12-13. At that point, things could get very, very close. Problem is that these rounds are close enough, and for CX to win 2 rounds consecutively, chance of that is very unlikely. They might go 1-1. Thing is though, can they pull this one back on their T side? They had that string of rounds, 5 rounds in a row they won, and since then things have fallen a bit flat for them. Orp on Astro. Can he be the difference maker here? If he's going for the aggressive plays, do it together. You can see Boaster and Jacob working together. Complete opposite to what we saw Astro on his CT side.
Yeah, and that little tandem play really pays some rewards for the CT side in terms of allowing them not only trades, but in a lot of the situations they don't even need to find the trades because they're getting those first picks, which really just means that the positions they're playing much more about insurance than anything else. The CX trying to really bank off the back of that now. Confidence, confidence, all that rolls into a package for this T side, but it goes hand in hand with that over-aggression, and sometimes that really has been such a negative factor for them now. They walk right through a smoke. Where was the flashbang? Where is the utility? They're not even doing it together. Connor is just being... There is no way to sum that round up.
So basically, we saw previous rounds before when they went towards Secret, and a molly came down from, I believe it was Reason or whatever, the player playing towards Secret. Rezu goes through alone, and his other 3 teammates hesitate. If Rezu's going to die and play like a Karrigan for the old Astralis would do the exact same and throw his body forward and say, trade me. And that's how he wanted to play, right? The problem is you can't see hesitation from the CEX side here. Brody C, Astro, these players have to push in together as a unit, and talking about pushing, already they're through squeaky.
Talked about the trades as well. We talked about the insurance of the CT side. The bomb is now completely stranded. Jacob, he hits these shots. He's got his P250. He's going to get traded by Astro, however, pitting them with a one-man advantage for this T side. Brody C with a Tech 9. Going to punish Windansky. Any reason to pull off a 1 versus 3, but he's still got the bomb. And this is why this situation is completely doable now. But Astro going to hold the angle, playing right around that crevice, is going to shut him down. CeX, they get themselves around on the board, but in a very crazy fashion. That's the sort of round where I say, okay, winning that's not repeatable. That doesn't lead to longevity in a half. That doesn't lead to CeX saying, you know what, we can make this comeback happen. It only helps them with their immediate economy.
Exactly, you mentioned before for CeX, right? They're almost better on their quasi-buys, right? When you've got like 1 Tech 9, a Deagle, 1 AWP and 2 AKs. These weird buys, the CeX side, they play differently. It's like they have more confidence when there's not that. It's like they play with more confidence when there's less on the line. Right?
Well, they just think, like, the mentality that really comes to mind for me is they just go, yeah, there's nothing to lose. We're more than likely going to lose this anyway, so we're just going to push. And then they find all the picks. It works out for them.
And then they play with rifles, and they play so hesitant. If they could carry their confidence they had on their quasi-buys into their rifle rounds, we could be seeing a very dominating half here. Very, very dominating T side for the side of CeX. The players are there, the skills there, just work on that teamwork. And I mean, Jacob here playing very different to what we saw Astro do. Astro playing very aggressive on his CT side. Oh, speak of the devil. Astro does 4, and that's a 1-man lead already for the side of CEX. And Astro, one of their star players, one of their players to find entries for the CX side, has already fallen.
Again, just another huge loss for them to stomach. It's sort of a team where you look down a roster and you go, okay, these are the sort of players that you want necessarily sometimes in afterplant positions.
Exactly.
But every single time, CX, they're losing the likes of Brody C, they're losing the likes of Astro. Of course, you always talk about the AWP being a bit of a tickle when it comes down to afterplants every now and then. In some situations, you don't want it. But at the end of the day, Imperial are wiping the floor with CX. Straight back on the response. Jacob,
the repeats.
But they're giving it to him. He may well be repeaking. That may well be disadvantageous for him. But at the end of the day, if he's finding frags, why not? They're in a 5 versus 2. He converts it alone, so now LS just being solo. LS is going to do some damage, but he has to run back towards the bomb. He should just be dropped on deck here, and that's going to be the case. Reason going to find the pick with the rifle. Imperial now 15 to 11, and the response from CeX is going to be all but lackluster. They have no money. $3,000 is about all they can invest. They're probably going to get 1 rifle up here, and that's going to be it. And they don't even opt that. They opt for UMPs instead, so they can get that utility. But then my immediate response to that is, you haven't actually been using the utility. So many of their pushes have been dry peaks.
And the thing is, right, how do you counter an AWP up when you're on your T side? It's flashbangs, right? And Jacobs had 3 picks. People are just dry peeking into him. And early mono there towards Squeaky will hold up the push. This could be a fast net time.
That's not actually going to be a net dive at all. They're going to go straight on through, and this is actually working out for the CT side. Reason trying to stay alive there. Isn't quite going to work out. Windansky putting lead into his teammates' back. Brody C is going to take full advantage of that as he swings on towards his opposition, finds himself a headshot. JD just another with the UMP now. As Jacob lurking in the backlines with a pistol. And of course it's Jacob to find the frags of that. It's Jacob, for God's sake, he's able to do so much with it. As he finds himself just another on towards Astro, bring it to a 1 versus 1, but Brody C is going to take him down. A Tech 9 to the cranium. A CeX with the pistols put up around.
Exactly, right? You saw the push there. All together, no one's hesitating. 5 people as a unit. It feels like when they're on their buy rounds, they're so scared. It's like there's so much pressure on them.
Watch them lose this round now.
Probably. I mean, you got 2 MPs, so fair enough, right? But one of these players, LS, actually has enough for an AK. No, he doesn't. Sorry, I thought that was 3.4k, so he got 2.4. So
I feel like what's going to happen in this round, though, is these UMPs may adopt the more aggressive strategy. Meanwhile, the rest of the rifles are just going to stay back, and it's going to cause the divide within the team, and that divide will allow Imperial to insert themselves dead set in between them and just close this one out.
Potentially, but then again, you just have the SMGs playing towards the lobby, playing towards the ramp, and just have the AKs go on silo, play towards outside, let Astro work magic with the AWP if possible, and just play slow. Another new angle from Jacob now, trying to catch players off going towards rafters. And we could very well be seeing those AKs go there.
Very creative positioning being coming from the CT side, and I like the explanation behind how CeX are approaching this one. It's different, so fair play to them. The UMPs are in a much more workable angle, but then there's a concern of, you talked about Astro and him having an impact. He's been picked off nearly every single round. Hopefully we don't see that take hold yet again, as within a minute on the clock. CeX starting to gain some traction here as they push further and further. Jacob already taking him down 1 as he finds the pick on towards JD. We do see that player up on towards Catwalk, just outside. LS is going to look to respond. Close-knit on towards Jacob, and if he can take him down, it does leave that window of opportunity for this D-side to strike on towards A.
Problem is, though, Jacob knows exactly where the T's can be. That's how you play CT side nuke. You know where the T's can be. You don't necessarily have to know where they are. Still, though, LS might be peeking into the scope of Jacob. Getting closer, closer. Flashman comes in. It's a bad flash, and Jacob there. The readjust will find it. Brody C trying to equalise the numbers, but Jacob finds Astro. Brody C last alive with 1 versus 4. That'll do it. 16-12.